Only me. I'm not controversial, I'm controversial. And I'm going to do another compare. And today, it's going to be one of my favourites. Pies. I love pies. So today I'm going to taste 3 pies and give my verdict of what I think of them and see which comes out best. I've got the Pukka steak pie. Pukka, well known for their pies. Sort of first thing you think about when you think of steak pies is Pukka. So that's the Pukka, right, which runs at £1.25 at the moment at Morrisons. They normally run about £1.99, but they are on promotion very regular at most supermarkets, come down to £1.50 or £1.25. At the moment, £1.25 is a steal. We've got the Morrisons own steak pie, so they're competing, and that's £1.79. So their pie has really got to punch well for that money when it's up against the Pukka that's cheaper at the moment. And then we've gone with something slightly different. This is the crust pastry pie from M S, which is £3. But I thought throw it in the mix, and so I'm going to open up the Pukka one first. Can't see the weight on this box. Okay, I've looked everywhere, unless I'm turning into Stevie Wonder. But obviously it's the traditional Pukka box they've had out for a few years now, with its orange colour scheme. Nice picture of the inside of the pie, and that's what we're expecting it to look like. So that's the steak one, and all these pies I am trying are the steak pies. So I'm going to get out the box and see what we're looking at. So there we are. Just the nice crusty top, as Pukka pies always do, in the traditional tin, and we know it's steak because it's a black tin. So that's the Pukka pie. Yeah, it feels quite solid in the tin. So there you go. Alright, so I'm going to put that on the plate. Okay, next I've got the Morrisons steak pie. That's also got a nice cutting of the pie on there. We're expecting it to look like that when it comes out. So that's the steak pie from Morrisons. So I'll get that out of the packaging. That does say 200 grams. And it seemed to feel a little bit heavier than the Pukka one. So maybe the Pukka one's slightly lighter, but I couldn't see the weight on it. But that's the pie there in a silver tin. So obviously that's colour code for Morrisons pie is silver for steak, and that's slightly different topping on it. It's more of a crust top on that. It feels quite solid in there. So let's wait and see. I'll put that on the plate. Now, last of all, this is 200 grams. This is the Marks and Spencer's one, which looks like it's going to be oval in shape. packaging. And there it is. It is oval in shape. Nice golden top to it. Some colouring. That's in a silver tin as well. Obviously oval. So let's hope that looks like it says on the box. So I'm going to go and cook these now. So we're going to cut into the Pukka one now. I'm going to cut this in half and see if there's the filling and see how it holds together in half. So lots of gravy I can see already, and that's inside there. Lots of gravy. It's a little bit hollow in the top. Usually there's bigger chunks in a Pukka than that. Let's take the other side there. So it's a very moist gravy pie, but for Pukka I would expect more bigger chunks of steak, but we'll see when we bite. So here we are. This is the Morrisons, and I'm going to cut this in half now and see inside. Another one's cut through quite cleanly. Actually, that, to be fair, the chunks of steak in that are pretty good. There's a big aroma. Tastes very much like a steak ale pie, but it's saying steak. But we'll see when we taste it, because I'm not that keen on steak and ale pie. But yeah, there is like that sort of ale-y aroma with that gravy. But there are big chunks of steak in that. And now we're going to go straight on into the M S. So I put that back in the tin actually. And we're going to cut that one in half. Not such a clean cut. The pastry a little flaky there. So I will pick that piece up there so you can have a good look inside. That's a very moist pie as well. All three look quite moist with gravy. To be fair, the meat looks a little bit smaller than in the Morrisons. The Morrison one looks with the biggest steak bits in there. So it's be interesting when I try these. Straight in then. So I'm going to go for the benchmark that everyone goes for, is the Pukka pie. And I'm going to take a right cut into that. And well, there we are. A bit steak pastry. The pastry is so light. It's a lovely light suet pastry. It's really light. It's and the gravy. But I don't know, that is lovely. That is nice. Let's get a piece of, there is a, as you got into the pie, there are bigger steak pieces. That's a good piece in there. So to be fair, the gravy probably hid what we were seeing on the camera. That's nice. That'll be safe for later, don't worry. So we're going to go straight into the Morrisons now. As forever, I've got lots of juices still in my mouth from that pie. So, don't want to do it because they're lovely, but I've got to have a glass of water so we even the flavours up. So, we're going to cut into the Morrisons pie now. That's cutting quite thin. It does feel a heavier pastry. There we are. It's quite a thicker pastry. But it is quite a thick pastry, but it's tasty. It's not too dry. Some you get too dry, but there's plenty of gravy in this pie. And I'll see if I can get a chunk of the steak out. Nice piece of the steak there. So they're not being mean with that. It is more of a, there is a sort of hint of the sort of, how could I put it, a sort of ale gravy sort of vibe going there. I can't say there is, definitely, but it seems to sway that way, where the Pukka is more of a peppery gravy, more of a sort of richer gravy. So it's now for the Marks and Sparks, and are they going to deliver? Because remember, this one was £3, so it's nearly 3 times more money than what I paid for the Pukka pie. With the pastry there, there is a thick crust on that. It is a thicker, crusty pastry, obviously. It was a little bit drier in the mouth. Now I'm going to try and take the best bit of meat out of there. The meat is finer. I can't find as big a steak. There's a bit clumped together there. That's a similar gravy to the Morrisons. Not quite as much as that sort of ale tone to it, but it's very similar. I will find, I have found a chunk of meat, I will be fair, on in there, so, and this is what I want to taste. Yeah, is it worth £3 compared with the other two? I mean, let you make your minds up on that, but I don't think so personally from the taste I'm getting here. I'm a bit of a pie connoisseur because I do love my pies, you know. Steak and kidney and steak pies up the top of my list. of one of my all-time favourite meals. So this is going to take a bit of thinking. I think the controversial rating is going to be 4 stars for the Pukka. And the reason I'm giving it 5, that isn't as full as what I expect a Pukka pie to be. Taste, pastry, perfect. But the filling isn't as full as normal. So the Morrisons pie, $1.79. Pastry is nice. I was pleasantly surprised actually. I just want to pick that up. I've just dissected it a bit and just see all that filling in there. I'm so impressed with that filling. $1.79. I think it's I think they price marked it probably spot on for that filling. I can't complain. Supermarket brand, $1.79. That's a good pie, you know, and I think that is well worth 4 stars as well. It's gonna be tough to see which is the best. So we go to the M S, and the M S £3. You're going to pay £3 there because that's how they price mark everything up, because of the presentation, packaging, and it's the Marks and Spencer's, you know, the old St. Michael brand, if you could call it. But for £3 for that, when I compare it with the Morrisons, you know, this is just going to get 2 stars. I just think £3 for that when I'm paying $1.79 for that Morrisons, and just £1.25 for the Pukka. So which one wins? The Pukka, purely on the taste of the gravy, is going to win. And when they're on offer so often at the supermarkets, and that is at £1.25 at the moment, it's going to be 5 stars purely on the price and the flavour. But come on, Pukka, you normally fill them a little bit better than that. So that's another controversial review. Please like and please subscribe. Quite new to doing this. I hope to get better, and you know, feel free to comment with any ideas, and we'll see you next time.